Da kidao se rande da se văd cât durează. Dar stai că joc acum. Când ieși? Când ieși? A, faci stream? Dar stai că joc acum. Când ieși? Ce? A, lol. Odem, că am terminat meciul. O dat ăștia forfeit. Da, așa. Aha. Arată bine. Hai să arate mișto. Mhm. Nice. Am scădit prea repede foamea. Mhm. 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 Ah, interesting. Aha. Da, da. Mhm. Știi ce am impresia că e duminică? Man, hai să mai jucăm niște Cancer League. Ceva în genul. Nu știu, am impresia că orice joc, dacă ajungi să-l joci la nivel destul de înalt, e cancer. Dar ți-am zis, mie eu sunt demoralizat să-mi bat pula de toată faza. Și ce nașpa cu aia? Nu m-a terminat și am impresia că-s buni, găsesc. Da. Cu aia mă uit la numele lor la început și îmi dau seama dacă pierdem meciul ăsta sau nu. Să-mi bag pula, deci când văd troll de aia, e clar că îl pierde la început. Da, uite, la asta îi zic take the shot și nimica.
Gentlemen, and welcome back to the Unreal Engine 4 survival horror game series. And in today's video we are going to be pretty much finishing up our environment in here, just in terms of the way it looks and the way it feels. And the way that we're going to be doing that is pretty much just lighting up the forest environment of ours, because at the moment it's sort of a daytime environment. It's not very scary. It doesn't kind of really fit in with the survival theme that we're going to be going for. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm essentially going to be going over how to change it into a nighttime scene and how to capture the atmosphere, the look and the feel for that. And I'm also going to be going over a couple of techniques as to how we can pull this off best. So how to use like a skylight, some point lights for detail lighting and a few other bits and bobs. Anyway, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So the way that we're going to do this is we are going to use the skylight to give a little bit of light to the scene. We're going to move the light source to make it go under the map to sort of make it like a nighttime. We're going to update the sky sphere so, you know, it follows the directional light that's going to be sort of like, you know, underneath the level, you know, because it's going to be nighttime. So I'm going to stop talking about the details and I am just going to get straight into it so you guys can easily follow along and understand. Also, for those of you that haven't actually watched my Unreal Engine 4 beginner tutorial series, I do have a really great tutorial on lighting. I definitely I definitely advise that you guys go ahead and check that out just so you can easily follow along with this tutorial. So in terms of the look and the feel of, you know, of the environment, this is sort of what I want to be going for today. This is what I am working towards. So you can see here it's a very nighttime kind of scene here. There's a lot less brightness in here. There's no sun, it's just sort of moonlit and it's got this sort of blue look going on. So, the first thing that we're going to need to do then is we are going to need to move the light source. And the light source is essentially just like with directional light for the level, and we just pretty much need to rotate this so that the sun goes down in the same way that, you know, the sun would move in the real world. So we're just going to make sure that this goes underneath the level. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm just going to try and find like the sort of right level of sundown that works for me, and this pretty much works for me really, so I'm going to keep it at that. Once I've done that, I got a level. Just pretty much need to rotate this, essentially just like with directional light for the level, and we just pretty much need to rotate
A intrat un Master of Friendzone. Na, poftim. Pizda mătii. L scot eu. E clar. Îi las ăsta. Wow. Hai.
Rotate this so that the sun goes down in the same way that, you know, the sun would move in the real world. So we're just going to make sure that this goes underneath the level. So I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Lol. Păi am unul în echipă, nu iasă din poartă.
And I'm just going to try and find like the sort of right level of sundown that works for me, and this pretty much works for me really, so I'm going to keep it at that. Once I've done that, I've got to do another little thing here, and that is with the sky sphere. And what I've got to do with this is pretty much just refresh the material so that it adjusts to the new position of the sun, because at the moment it's still up and it still looks like it's daytime. So the way we're going to do that is just go to the details panel with the sky sphere selected and press refresh material.
Bă, serios, coaie. Coaie. Da, asta e gol. Ia. Am văzut. Mai m-a făcut rasa mătii. Am unul care are 1000 ping la mine în echipă, coaie, na. Păi ceva. Tare după mici ce nu există. Hai de pula.
And you can see we've still got a little bit of sun coming in here, which we probably don't need, to be honest. So, you know, I'm just going to rotate the lights.
LOL, a dat gol, ești prost? A, i-a revenit pingul. Wow. Hai mă, lasă-mă să dau, nu fi cretin. Bă, ăștia i-au prins PUBG-ul iară, văd că bagă ca sparți. Da. Dar nu poți să joci nimic cu ei. Mă fut.
Source again, and we're just going to keep it going. Just
Hai,
going to make
dă-te
sure
și
there's
atacă
no
în
sun
pula mea.
on these trees at all.
Wow, așa, dă-i pasul ăla, nice. Dar normal că dă el așa în pula mea, like... Wow! O ieșit unul de la noi, coaie. E 2-0 pentru ea, dar mai avem 3 minute și a ieșit, mă. LOL, mă, a ieșit și ălălalt. Am unul la mine, crazy baguette. E clar. E rip. Oh. Jesus Christ, dude. Mamă, ce mă disperă cu aia.
Paul. So I'm going to get it down here. You may have to rotate it in a couple of different ways to sort of get the look and the feel that you're after. Let's try refresh it now. It's still not nighttime, so you just got to keep playing around with it until you really do get the look and the feel that you're after. So just keep playing around with it. So that is looking good for now. So let's go ahead and try that. Sky sphere, refresh the material, and it's sort of gone nighttime. But the only issue with that is that the trees have sort of got some weird lighting going on from the bottom, so we sort of just have to keep adjusting this until we get what we want. So keep playing around with it. For me, I'm just going to pretty much get rid of all of the light on the trees. I'm just going to completely spin it around here, and then maybe do this. I'm not too sure where I'm going with this, but just keep playing around with it until you do get rid of all the sun and everything. Because you're working with 3 axes, it does sort of get a little bit cuckoo, a little bit crazy. So we don't need to turn it on that axis. We're just going to set the sun down here. There you are. That's probably going to be the best way to do it for now. And with that done, we're just going to go ahead and find the sky sphere, refresh the material, and we're just going to work with this for the night. So there's a couple of different settings that we can actually play around with for the sky sphere. For example, we can change the speed of the cloud, the size, the opacity, and a few other things. So let's go ahead and do that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn up the brightness of the stars to sort of make it more of like a nighttime scene. So in the details panel with the sky sphere selected, just go ahead and turn up the stars brightness, and you'll start to see them pop out. Only issue is, because of the time of day on the sky sphere at the moment, you can't see them. So some of the settings that you can adjust would be things like the cloud speed. You could turn that up so it's super fast, or you could turn it down so it sort of slows it down a little bit to make it more realistic. And then we could even play around with the opacity if we wanted to, just like that. So that is working good for us for now. But the main issue with our scene at the moment is the sun has gone down now, but it's sort of pitch black. So we need to add in some kind of like basic level of light to the whole environment. And the way we're going to do that is go to add a skylight. So if we add that in, you can sort of see we got this skylight now, and it's got this sort of tinge of orange straight from the sky, which is really nice. It's very natural. And you may want to turn down the brightness of the skylight, because we are actually still trying to go for a nighttime scene, so we don't want it to be very, just too bright. So with the skylight selected, just go into the settings and just turn down the intensity. Maybe turn it down to something like 0.5. or 0.4, something like that. And I'm going to go ahead and press play and see exactly how that looks. And I can see at the moment this is looking quite nice. We've got quite the scene here, and when I turn on my flashlight and I walk around my scene, it looks very dramatic. We've got plenty of atmosphere, which is really, really nice, I guess. I'm probably going to turn down the intensity a little bit more, maybe something like 0.3, 0.2, 0.1, not 0.1, that's a bit too much, 0.12, 0.15, and that will do for now. So what you guys might want to do is add in a few point lights just to add a bit of detail, I guess. So for example, if we take a look at the picture that we've been working towards for the past few episodes, which is going to be on my desktop somewhere, you can see on this picture, you can see we've got a few sort of like detail lights on some bushes, some plants, that kind of stuff, just to sort of break things up a bit. So you can go ahead and do that. So I've already added in a couple of fern plants into my scene, which I'm going to highlight with some point lights. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you how I'm going to do that. So I'm just going to drag a point light, going to move it over the fern, or whatever it is you're trying to add a bit of detail to. I'm going to move it just above it, and I'm going to turn the attenuation radius down. And what that is going to do is it's just going to change you know, how far the light is going to go. And if you wanted to, you can proceed to turn the brightness up. It's entirely up to you. And you can add in as many of these point lights as you want. Just move them around, play around with it, do what you like. So we've got another one of these. I'm going to make this one cover the other fern over here. Control C, Control V. We got another one over here. But before I do keep copying and pasting them, it would probably be a good idea to change the color, because we don't want it to be a complete white. We want it to be a little bit mysterious, a little bit strange. So I'm going to go ahead and chuck that in there. And I'm also going to move these down a little bit, turn the attenuation radius down a little bit as well. When it comes to lighting, there is a lot of things that you need to play around with to get the right atmosphere, really. So just play around with it and just do what you like, really. Also, before I do end off the tutorial, I do want you guys to make sure that you build your lighting before you finish as well, because, you know, you're going to have preview all over it, and, you know, it just won't look as nice as it really should. But for now, we've got a really nice scene here, and what I want you guys to do also is just sort of play around with the, you know, the position of the light source to make it actually turn it into like a daytime scene. Because at the moment it's sort of like very, very early morning, and that's probably not exactly what I wanted to. But what we could do is we could just change it with post-processing, but it's entirely up to you. But for now, that is pretty much everything that I wanted to go over for lighting. As I said, it's all about experimenting, and don't forget to build your lighting up here as well. So that's pretty much everything for this video. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, and also don't forget to share the video so we can build the community.
What the fuck, dude?